Hey guys, welcome to ASP.NET Web API tutorial series. This is part 5. In this tutorial, I am going to show you how to write your attribute-based routing. Okay, so attribute-based routing uses attributes to define routes. That means attribute routing gives you more control over the URLs in your Web API. The earlier style of routing, which is I have shown you in the previous tutorial, is called convention-based routing. Still, it is fully supported, but we can use both of them together in the same project. Okay, so one advantage of convention-based routing is that templates are defined in a single page. So here we have all the templates in a single page, and the routing rules are applied consistently across all controllers. But unfortunately, convention-based routing makes it hard to support certain URL patterns that are common in RESTful APIs. For example, let me show you some example. In the convention-based routing, we can make something like that API slash products. Okay, so before that you have what? You have the controller, product controller, then products or get products, right? And if you want to get, you can say product ID 2, right? So this is basically convention based routing, but it has some limitations that we cannot. Here the convention is that you have to follow these rules, where API or whatever, then your controller name, then your action name, then ID, right? Now, if I want to get something different URL pattern, let's say http domain.com, let's say product 1 get product. Okay, this is one pattern. Domain.com products list, right? So even you can say product then products list, right? Let's say I want to get one more, I want to use one more pattern, the product controller. I want to get what? I can specify some more, that customer ID 1 2 3 4 is my customer ID. Then let's say get product list. Okay, so these are all different types of patterns you're applying, and even so in this case, this is your product ID, but in this URL, this is your customer ID, for example. Okay, so you cannot do it in your convention-based routing, because it will be always, if it is a product, you have to say this is ID or whatever you want. But in the attribute-based routing, you can say this is my ID and this is my customer ID. This is product ID and this is customer ID, right? Now I want to give you some more example. Let's say I have a URL pattern, something like that, API, B1, then products. Okay, so after some time I want to use the another version where I want to mention that API version 2, then products. Now in this case your API, your controller is changed, right? So easily we can maintain our versions, API versions. And let's say some other example, my domain.com orders, okay, 1. I want to see the orders 1, and I want to get orders pending. So you might notice that this is integer value and this is string value, right? So you cannot achieve this pattern from convention based URL, but we can achieve this pattern from the attribute based URL. So this is the attribute, so this is our integer and this is string, but both are identical URL. Okay, so I hope you at least got the idea, or is why we need to use attribute based routing instead of the convention based routing, although we can use both of them together in the same project. Okay, now let's configure the attribute based routing. So what we have to do is just config dot map http attribute routes. That's it. Okay, and we can still use our old convention based routings. Okay, we can keep it this convention based routing URL here. So only thing you need to add is map http attribute routes, which is already been there. So that's it. Okay, now let's configure our http attribute based routing. In this scenario I am going to use another controller, so add controller, let's say what, product controller, but I want to give it a different name. Let's say P1. So I'm going to maintain the versioning. Okay, so after some time you might have different implementation or different, on that case you can implement the P2 controller, so you will have two different versions. Okay, so I can copy the methods from the previous controller, which is almost same. I'm just going to separate the new one, because you might have this example, this source code, so you can practice it. Okay, so first of all I want to make sure that this is my http get method action name. You can specify that, instead of I can add route, where I have to mention that, let's say P1, then what, then I can say, in this case I'm going to get all the products, so I can directly specify get products. Okay, so this is my route for this for this method. Now I want to use more specific for the next one, which is product by ID. So I can say route p1 products. Okay, or we can even specify the ID. Okay, so which is what can I say? Okay, ID. Then I can say get product. So here you should maintain one thing, that we are getting this ID from the URL. Okay, so this ID name and this attribute name should be the same, even it is case sensitive. So if you write something ID here and you're writing ID something capital I, this cannot be matched together, so you have to follow the same case. Okay, so for now I have these two, so I want to run this application and I want to see here's a problem. What is the problem? Oh, iProduct is not found, so I have to add the namespace. Okay, I hope everything is fine now. Still there's a problem. What is the problem? Product. Okay, so first rebuild the application. Succeeded. Okay, so what I want to do is I have p1, then what? Get products. p1 get products. So you can see that you have that list of products because it is calling this method. Even you can put a breakpoint over here. Let's see if it is working or not. I'm calling this method and it is breaking here. That means what? This URL is calling to this method. Okay. Then let's try the second one. p1, then ID, then get product. So p1 ID, let's try 4, then get product. Yep, so product 4 is coming, and we can put a breakpoint in the method and we can test it, we can verify it. Yes, it is coming to here, right? So this is working fine. So this pattern you cannot achieve by traditional convention based routing system. So in this scenario you must have to implement the attribute based routing, where you can see 4 is my attribute, like this one. So you can even make some more pattern, like let's say this is our URL, so want to keep this get product, then I want to make another one, let's say the customer ID. So my customer or what, or orders, we have all the orders. I'm only using the product, so I want to stick with this. For from product I have some, I want to get a stock. Okay, get a stock, product stock. Okay, so both are different, right? So I hope you learned something from this tutorial, and once you're familiar with these two patterns, so you can implement based on the situation you have. So why I have used P1 here, I mean, it's like say, no, P1 means product controller 1. Now if you have one more controller, I mean if you have a second controller for this product, second types of implementation, that means second version, then you can call it P2 controller. That means you can have that second version of that controller and different implementations, okay, which is called API versioning. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have any confusion, you can write in the comment box. I'd like to have your feedback. Please write your comment in the comment box. If you like this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe this channel if you want to get more tutorial, and you can share this video. So see you soon in the next tutorials. Till then, bye.